another episode of Men in Marriage. I'm here with a special guest, Mr. Xavier Darden. He is the Mercedes-Benz luxury auto coach of mine. He works at Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Welcome, Mr. Xavier Darden.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you for coming on. Again, I'm your host, Lamar Dixon. We're going to be asking Mr. Xavier a set of 3 questions as always. And then after that, we're going to have a little discussion and open dialogue. Is that okay with you?
Okay with me.
All right, brother. Well, let's go ahead and just jump right into it then. All right. So, first of all, can you tell us how long have you been married?
Well, I've been married for going on 15 years. It's going to be September the 27th. That'll
Okay.
be our 15th year anniversary. And of course, we've been together for 16 years. Thing is, I could tell after 1 year that I was like, oh wait, that's my wife. You know what I mean? After you've met a million people, it shouldn't take that long to figure out, compatibility. So
Right.
it didn't take us long.
Well, good. It's good to hear.
And I was like, I don't want her to get away.
that was the main reason, right?
Hey, that's right. Oh yeah.
So I'm going on 15 years of marriage. That's good. That's great. Again, I'm 7 years for myself. So you have a lot of marriage wisdom, I'm going to say.
Right.
So this would be a good conversation, I think. So jumping right into it, one of the first questions is, what were your expectations before you got married? Of marriage.
Right. So my expectations was like a lot of people maybe have had, and it was more of a traditional way. I'm thinking, okay, going into this marriage, I'm going to have to provide. My expectations were, the whole thought process of, hey, the woman's got to, take care of the whole house. She's going to have to, clean, cook, and do all these things. That was my expectations.
Right.
That was kind of what I'd always seen. You see it in TV shows, from years ago, how, that's just kind of how everybody had a role, right? But the reality is, as I've been married for 15 years, I understand, hey, women got professional occupations,
Right.
just they may work just as many hours as you do,
Right.
So then what? It's a whole different world we live in. You got some situations where the man is at home and the woman's out, working because she has a more, a better type of occupation that's yielding more income. So you just never know your situation.
Absolutely. So I said previously before, I had the same expectations going into marriage, same as you, because that's what I saw growing up. So that was well, kind of sort of what I saw growing up, but that's what my expectations were.
Exactly. Right.
So same as you were in actual marriage, you get to quickly understand that that's not reality.
It's definitely not reality, So, the cool thing is, being with Kristen as long as we've been together, the thing about marriage is that me personally, that I've learned, well, at least what's helped me and Kristen is that we've always continued to dream together. And that's more staying in sync with each other in terms of what your future is going to be. We try to continuously dream together, plan together, because that shows that you're on the same page. I mean, you're constantly, bouncing off ideas and, continuously making sure that person you're with is happy with their lives and what their goals are, what they want to accomplish in their lives. And it's not just centered around one person.
Right.
I think, a lot of times people get married and then one person is still in that mentality of a single person, like, well, it's me. It's all about me versus, hey, what are we going to build together? What are we going to plan together? And it just it keeps things, fresh. And, one of the things that me and Kristen are starting to do is really try to date more, continuously, and with me, it's like, I want to date my wife. I want to continuously do stuff that, that I want to, I'll sit back, like literally, I said a prayer. I was like, I prayed to God for him to help me to when I think of her, to have that energy I had when I first met her.
Hmm.
and to have it even more, have a better energy about myself. Because the thing is, if you are into a routine type deal when you're in a marriage, then you'll finally get to that peak. And then we all know that when something peaks, there's always a decline. And
Right.
the thing is, I don't want to ever peak. I want it just to keep,
To keep climbing.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the way to do that is to stay, growing together instead of growing apart. And I
No,
think that's what happens to a lot of people. It's not that people don't really love each other or want to be with that person that they met and they loved years ago. I think what we fall victim to is we don't grow together. People,
that's
they
good.
get off. So it's a that's my thing. That's what's helped us throughout all these years.
No, that's good info, man. You dropping some wisdom, like I said you was gonna do.
Well, it's all God's been with me, man, helping
That's
me.
right. So
Yeah.
that leads into the second question then, which
Okay.
is now that you're married, even from day one all the way till today, like what are your expectations now that you're actually in the marriage?
Well, my expectations now is, of course, when it comes to things like security for the family, I know that that's my job, is to always create that blanket of security for my wife. I don't want
Mhm.
her to ever feel that, we're going to be on the streets, or we're not going to have food on the table for the kids, or, just we're
Right,
not going to get there. But the idea is I want to always keep her feeling secure, you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And protected. That's kind of, for me, that I understand that's my role. That's my role. But far as just, some of the things and expectations in the marriage now, it's like I expect, of course, for my wife to be on the same page as me whenever we're disciplining our children.
Hmm.
That's something that where I feel like as a married, couple, you got to be on the same page when it comes to the kids. But when it comes to the discipline, we are really not like a traditional type family. I mean, when it comes to the kids, I know that my wife's going to let, you know, my son get away with murder. I know she's going
Right,
to be a little hard on my daughter, and
right,
vice versa. My
right,
son, I'm a little bit more on Bryce's case, like, no, and I explain to him why. I don't just
right.
tell him, no, don't do something, but I try to explain it to him. I just know that my wife's going to make sure that I'm eating. She'll take care of me, give me some food. Even though it's not like something that I'm, stressing her about. As far as cleaning a home, I feel like we do that together. I feel like the whole money aspect, I feel like that's really on my shoulders.
Hmm.
I wanted to get to a point where if she didn't want to work, she doesn't have to. You know what I mean? So my expectations is still for me to be the provider. You know what I mean?
So what I hear you, what I'm hearing you say is basically the expectation that you had before marriage was, you expected the traditional roles of man and women. But as you
Right.
got married, your expectations has grown to
Mm.
you putting more expectation on yourself than you
Yeah,
have, I'm saying on her, I would say. So
exactly.
the
Exactly.
expectation that you're putting on yourself is to make, like you said, make sure that everything is provided for and you're creating that sense of security, which is great. I like that.
Yeah. And my thing right now is I just want to celebrate her.
Hmm.
So my wife says to me, hey, I want to do a job. I want to help contribute to our financial well-being. I'm all for it. I
Hmm.
tell her, you go out, you shoot for the stars. If you fucking come back with the moon, you the shit. You know
Right.
what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like I don't want the pressure on her. I want
Hmm.
her to be at peace so that when I'm home, my home's at peace. My
Right.
children are at peace.
Right.
And I explained to Chris, and I'm like, you can do something, do what you love. I want to provide basically the cushion for her to be able to just thrive as a person. And I know I'm talking more about her than I am about myself, but the thing is, when it comes to the marriage, I feel like I'm being better for her,
Hmm.
and for her, it's her living for me. You
Hmm.
see what I'm saying? So if we focus on being a better spouse for our spouse, then we have no time to criticize, because we're focusing on, hey, what am I doing to take care of her? Because when I met Kristen, I wasn't looking at her flaws. If she had a flaw or something, hell, I didn't even see it. I wasn't even
Hmm.
thinking about it. I was
Right.
thinking about, what am I going to do to win this woman's heart over? Think
Hmm.
about that when you first start dating a woman. Are you
Right.
focusing on all her flaws when she's already blown you away? When you met her, you spoke to her. When you met your wife, your beautiful wife, LaShannon, when you met her, I know any flaw she had, you didn't think about that.
Right.
because you wasn't focusing on that.
Right.
Because you knew from meeting her that, hey, this is the woman that I want to spend my life with.
That's right.
I don't know how long it took for you, but when I first met Chris, I was like, whoa, who is that? And then, you see a lot of beautiful women as men. And then when you meet them and engage with them, then you can determine compatibility.
Right.
And I had never experienced anything like her. And I
Right.
still haven't. So for me, it's like, I want to just be better for her. Because I read somewhere, or I don't know what it was I saw. It was maybe someone told me, or maybe it was a passage or something that I saw. But it was talking about like, men and marriage and how we're supposed, and spouses in general, you need to focus more on them in terms of, you do what you can to be the best husband for her, and vice versa. She does what she can to be the best wife for me, and I know there's things that she struggles with that maybe she wants to be better at, and, cleaning's probably one of them. But, I said to her, I'm like, hey, we need to hire a maid, let's just make more money. We'll hire a maid to come in here every 2 weeks or something, and just kind of, clean the whole house up, But we don't really have those issues. I think some of the issues we did have early in our marriage was like me. I'm thinking like, oh, the house has got to be, spotless and all this other stuff. And then when you get kids and you're in the trenches together, raising them, it's hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's hard.
both have careers, and then you have kids,
Yes.
you have extracurricular activities. Yeah, time gets
It's
away
hard.
from you.
So yeah, I right now, I guess my expectations is for my wife to be my social director, because that's what she is. I expect her to help, organize things for the kids, like far as like birthday parties. She's the organizer in the family.
Right.
So I think what me and Kristen have done throughout the years that have helped us to be the best teammate, the best team, is to basically figure out what it is you're strong at between the two of you, and you let that person lead in that direction, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're better at setting up, activities and things for us and all that, that's all you. But I'm better at taking the trash out, fixing shit.
Right.
Come on, we got our roles. You feel
Right.
me? So I think with everyone, there's no cookie cutter approach to marriage. If there was, it would be published everywhere, and someone would be a billionaire right now, right?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody would be happy.
Building a freaking spaceship with Elon Musk right now, racing with him to see if he can get up there faster. But, that's not the case. Every person's different. So every couple is different.
Absolutely. So I want to go back to one of the couple of things that you said. Actually, one of them being that you're being a better people or a better spouse for each other, which I like, because in the previous episode that we also talked about was like, with marriage comes, as time goes on, the longer you're married, the more wise you are. You get to understand the ups and downs, what buttons to push, what buttons not to push. And one of the things is like, would you be willing to compromise or change for your spouse? And the answer to me is a solid yes, 100% of the time, because you want to change and be a better person for your spouse. So
right. That's
what you said basically just brought that back to my memory. share that with you. It's like, yeah, you're spot on when you said that.
100%. Because like, look, Krista made me a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously, like my best friend, he told me, he was like, dude, he was like, man, thank God for her, man, because he could tell from like, previous. My best friend, I've known him from we were in like junior high, right? Mm-hmm. So when with your friends that known for years, that they've known you way back when you were this person, and they've watched you grow.
Right.
And with him, he's always said, man, you guys, I've just seen the man you become, man. I'm just proud of you. I'm glad that, God brought her to you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So for me, it's, I gotta return that gesture, for my wife. I'm always trying to make her better. I help her to be better. You feel me? Right. And I don't, being a Virgo, we can be a little pushy, right? So I've learned how to just maybe just give her, some info out there in the world, like, hey, this is probably something good that maybe you could do. And, and I just kind of try to let her be herself, and if she wants me to help her, I'll help her. But, at the end of the day, man, I'm just glad that I figured out, my position and how I can navigate through this marriage, because,
No.
everybody has ups and downs. And we sat back and we look back at the times where we were stressing about things that we can't even remember about.
Right.
There's arguments we've had. Hell, I don't even know what the hell we were arguing about,
Right.
because it just means nothing.
Which brings up a good segue to what you said also was you have found out how to be the best team.
Yeah.
So the best team for
Oh, yeah.
your space, your household. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
play a position, she plays a position, and y'all are
Oh,
like
yeah.
the dream
Oh,
team.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
nobody can
100%.
touch you. You know what I'm saying? In your household. So I think that's a good piece that everybody should also take away. Also, is like to be the best person or the best team for
Oh,
your
yeah.
house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like you said,
100%.
it,
100%.
marriage
And
is
then
not
what you
cookie
do
cutter.
is, and so our whole thing is, we want to try to help, create like the best, because it starts with the family, right?
Mhm.
Think about it. It's deep. You got to have a strong family so that it creates a stronger community. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you have stronger children, because they can start to see that you don't necessarily have to be like this. You can be yourself. That's the thing about society. They set it up to where they have these expectations, because that's what had me stumble and trip and
Right.
fall plenty of times when we first got married. Because
That's
I'm
right.
thinking that, oh, I'm right, because society says this is how it's supposed to be.
Right.
This is how the movies and everything else in the world depicts what marriage life should be like. And that's bullshit. It's not the
Right.
way it is. It's
That's
not
right.
the real, you got to be able to adapt to all types of circumstances. There's tons of things that can happen, to any of us. You feel me? You can
Mhm.
be working at a job for Lord knows how long, and they just decide they're going to furlough all the people.
Right.
How do you adapt to that? If you're
Absolutely.
not a strong team, your teammate may not be there to pick you up. So you got to always be strong, because we don't know what's going to come our
That's right. That's right. Man, you spitting knowledge. You
way.
are. I mean, just think about it. Just even last year with the COVID situation, you know, see
Exactly.
how many
Exactly.
jobs downsized, and
Yeah.
you may have had one or both people who
Yeah.
were out of jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know what that statistic is as far as divorce or separation or anything like
Yeah.
that that
I'm
happened
sure it
during that
changed the
time, but
landscape,
oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it
because
did.
people had to be, you're right there together, and
Yeah.
you had to, really decide, hey, are we really compatible? And I think for me, I loved it. You know what? When I was out, look, at my job, they had us set up on, because when COVID hit back around March of 2020, somewhere
Right.
around March, April-ish, we had like a split schedule where we had half the sales team would work one day, and you work every other day of the week. And during that time, it was incredible for me, because it made me realize that I need more time with that woman.
Hmm.
I cherish that time, man. I literally, look, my mother, she was at my house because of all the stuff going on. I just wanted her to be close.
Right.
So she was there. So what me and Kristen would do is we get up early in the morning and we just take a morning walk. Every morning that I was here, we get up early in the morning. My mother had the kids. We walk around the whole neighborhood and do a morning walk. And I figured out why everybody gets up early in the morning when they're retired and walk around the neighborhood as spouses, because we had a chance to really talk and reflect on our lives, experiences we had. I mean, it was just quality time that we never had. We never got up at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and just get up and start walking.
That's
So
good.
it was good for us.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so
So,
that made me see that, hey, I gotta spend more time with this woman, because I'm working all day. I come home and she was doing the same thing, and now she works from home, which is good. She's with my kids more, but having that time with each other is important. Making that time is important. I
yeah,
realize how much, I
making
miss her.
time. That's right.
Oh
You,
yeah,
you make time for what you want, man.
you do. That's right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the question number three, which is now that basically, do you have any input, or anything that you would like to say or helps? The question is, now that you have been married for going on 15 years, is there anything that you would like to give advice to people who are thinking about marriage, who are in a marriage, or somebody, or so a group of people who maybe even be thinking about separation? What would you say?
What I would tell them is, the one thing that you don't know is, we've seen it on TV. People talk about it. There's an 80-20 thing, right? Things that you see that person you're with, you were with them for a reason.
Mm.
And the biggest thing is, you know, they, you know, in the Bible, it says, you know, what God puts together, let no man separate. Maybe if people are looking at that kind of thing, maybe they need to reevaluate who they're around, you know, because God put you together for a reason. It's deeper. It's a spiritual thing. So you can see the most beautiful person on the planet, right?
Right.
And whoever the most beautiful woman is on the planet, to me, she's nothing. You can meet people all the time and they're not that person that you marry, because it's when you're married, you're going to get old together. That relationship, that bond you have with that person, it's not the same all the time. You know, you may think that, you know, maybe this person, you got to give people chances. You know, you have to grow together.
Yeah.
Me personally, me and Krista, we've had ups and downs in our marriage, but at the end of the day, I think about all the stuff that she's done for me. When I look at my kids, I got 2 kids. My little girl looks just like her. You know, my son started to look more like her. But the thing is, I would always make them think about what it was that drew them close to that person from the get-go, because I think we forget.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of times, me and Kristen, we'll sit back, we'll look at all the things we've accomplished together, right? We talked about how we were thinking, like, once, you know, we just got out of college. I was, you know, most of us, we weren't, unless you was like a dentist or a pharmacist, you weren't like making like, you know, 6 figures and plus, you know, when you come out of college even. So I would suggest to them to definitely get, you know, counseling. You know, me and Kristen, we talk about it, but we've never actually done it. We've never done marriage counseling. Never. I'm just being honest. We've never done that. But what we have done is we've sat back and we've talked.
Right.
We always talk about what it is that person expects from each other, right?
Right.
I think having those real conversations can sometimes reveal that maybe you don't have a problem in your marriage. Maybe you just aren't giving each other enough time. Maybe you have to realign yourselves. You know what I mean? Because me and Kristen, we've had to recalibrate plenty of times. You feel me? We've had to sit back and be like, hey, I love you. You love me. I know that we have goals together. Let's reevaluate what it is. Is there something I've done that I think we need to look at our expectations, because think about it, over time, you become a different person.
Right.
And I think with me and Kristen, like the times we've had problems is where we would keep holding on to past transgressions. You see what I'm saying? Right. And just, it's like a big bowling ball or like a big old, you know, just keep kicking that ball down the road and just keep getting bigger and bigger. And see, the problem with a lot of people is they never forgive and move on. Instead, every time that argument comes up, you're talking about something that happened before, and you're keeping, you know, you're trying to make that person be the same person they were. And so for me, I would say just, you know, think about it.
Think about it. So let me ask you a question then. So how do you approach that situation with your wife? So you need to have a conversation because something is on your mind. How do you approach that situation? How do you bring it up to start that conversation?
About potentially separating.
Well, no, not separating. Just about, like, if you have something that's bothering you, and you need to bring it up to let her know that, hey, this is bothering me. How do you bring that conversation up?
What I always typically do is I'll tell my wife, like, hey, I just need to talk to you about this. I feel like it's, you know, this is something that, you know, I'm hurt. I'm disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm just a little disappointed. And my expectations was this. And, you know, I just, you know, need to talk.
Okay.
And then we start talking about whatever it is that's bothering us. And I say, well, I think being vulnerable is the thing. For me, what I've learned to do is, because I was always, whenever there was a situation where I was hurt, I would respond with anger.
Right.
Instead of actually just being vulnerable with my wife and just telling her, hey, I love you. I know you love me. This hurt me, you know? And I think for her, seeing the genuine feelings of me come through, it took down her guard. Because if I'm hurt about something and I come with this aggression and this anger towards her, her
Right.
automatic response is to
Put up
be
a
in
wall.
protection and put
Right.
that wall up.
Yeah.
So what I've learned to do, and it's crazy. It was like a light bulb popped on. I'm like, oh shit, you know, it's me. You feel me? I figured out that, hey, because she's vulnerable with me. You know, there's times where maybe she wasn't vulnerable. She may come at me with anger because I hurt her, you know,
Right.
something I may have said, you know, about some situation, or, you know, we're all sensitive to different things. You know, we don't
Right.
know what it is. You know, certain things may hurt your feelings. You don't even think it would, you
Right.
know, like literally. My wife told me, I think it was last week, she said, Harper says you don't pay attention to her.
Mm.
And I didn't think it hurt me. I was like, shit.
Right.
I was
Right.
like, man, it hurt me because I felt like I wasn't being a good father to her. And I'm like, I got to take her out and do something fun. So I
Right.
took her bowling, and you know, we went bowling on Friday. She enjoyed herself. You know, we all as a family enjoyed ourselves, but for her, it was a big deal. You feel me?
Right. Right.
And so me being like, you know, heard about the situation, I told Kristen, I was like, hey, you know, that really hurt me for her to say that. For her to understand. I think really being able to express yourself with your spouse, once you get to that point, you're in the best place ever.
Yeah, I think that for me,
Yeah.
I'm still learning that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still learning that particular. I know that, you know, I think
Hey,
you
it took me about what, 13, 14 years to figure that shit out. So,
yeah, no, but that's a good thing though that you
yeah.
figured that out. And
Yeah.
I say that because I think that like you said, most men will come to that conversation with aggression, and
Yeah.
not with anger sometimes, but with a lot of aggression, because, you know, we're forceful, I would say. So
Yeah.
you can't come to the conversation like that. And I think that
No.
that's one thing that I am actually also learning myself. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking you questions
Because we
also.
got to be
It's for
gentle
me to
with
learn
them.
as well.
Yeah. Because the reality is they're our queen. And we
Mhm.
can't bring that king spirit to them if we're in warrior mode.
Right.
Because the reality is, man, we're warriors. We're out here, and no matter what happens in this world, we're going to be here to stand tall for our spouses. That's what we're here to do. We're the men. At the end of the day, that is our job. That is our natural, you know, that's our natural energy anyway. So the key is being able to come back to your king spirit when you're in your home, and come into your queen with respect, and just allowing her to see that, hey, you're human too. Because I think for Kristen, for a long time in our marriage, she didn't think I had any type of like, she just thought I was like, I'm not Superman. I have feelings too. Sometimes
Right.
you know, I'll tell her, hey, I'm not Superman. My feelings can get hurt just like anybody else, you
Right.
know? I'm just human, and I'm going to make mistakes too. You know, I think the biggest thing for me too is being able to for me and Christian, is to be able to just say, hey, I was wrong about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. You know, being able to really truly apologize to each other genuinely in situations it helps, because, you know, you're a team at the end of the day, and nobody's going to be perfect at the end of the day. And it's just really a matter of growing. I pray to God all the time for him to help me and Kristen to grow together. That is one of my prayers.
Yeah.
Every morning, like I'm in the shower, I pray in the shower. I told Kristen, I'm like, you hear some talking and mumbling and stuff in the shower, I'm just praying. You know, it's just what I do. I feel like it's the best thing to do, because I'm cleaning my body off, cleaning it, you know, and it's kind of like I'm presentable to the Most High.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
No,
so then I'm presentable to God. So I'm praying, and I'll pray, and I'm always praying for different things. But that's one of the main things that I always make sure I focus on is just, you know, asking, you know, God to help me to be the best man I can be. Instead of me praying to him to make her better, I'm praying to him for him to make me a better husband, a better father for my children, you know, to be a stronger person, a better friend, you know. I pray for all those things. I pray for everybody, man.
Good.
Because the world needs that right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I tell you, man, that 15-year wisdom is kicking in, man. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm always here. You know, hey, you my road dog. I was telling his brother yesterday. I was like, he was an alpha. His mom ended up buying a car, And I was telling him, I'm like, man, I'm like, I have some of the most interesting conversations with your bros, man. And
Yeah,
I told him like, I was just trying to put him in the mix. And stay close in that bond because you got
that's
some
right.
good brothers.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, oh yeah,
So I know I appreciate everything that you've said thus far, and you've answered the three questions. So I want to open it up for open discussion right now. So,
yeah.
is there anything else that you would like to discuss and talk about related to marriage and men and growing and whatever?
I think that with just in general with marriage, man, I think people surrounding themselves, with people that are the same. I think
Mhm.
it's important. You know, that's one of the things I've heard so much. It's like, because I'll say to my wife all the time, I'm like, because it may be situations where we think like, oh my God, my friend down the street, this marriage, they would never have this fight about this or that. I think whenever married couples are able to be around each other and just hang out and just, continue to thrive together, you start to see that, hey, we all the same. We all in the same type of situation. We're all married. We're all trying to create the best team, the best families together. But when you have all these people together, you can continuously, grow and, you know, talk about experiences you've maybe had that were the same,
Right.
and it makes it better. Because my best friend, he came to me, my best friend Jelani, he's like X. He came to me and he was like, him and his wife Nikki, they live in Cincinnati. They ended up having a miscarriage years ago before they had their kid, right? They've got two beautiful kids now. But I think the first time around they had a miscarriage. And then immediately I came at them and I said, you know what, Jelani, if I could do anything different after having that miscarriage, I would try again. We would have tried again a lot sooner,
Mhm.
because I had no idea the pain that my wife went through for those many years. She told me years later what happened to her and kind of how she felt like she was worthless and that she wasn't strong enough to create my child, to carry my child for her.
Mhm.
She felt like a failure. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until maybe, 4 or 5 years later that we actually ended up actually trying again. But
Right.
she had to carry that burden and that weight and that guilt and that shame. And she felt that she wasn't, it was the scariest thing for her because she felt like, well, what if I fail again? What if I'm not able to have a child?
Right.
What if I have another miscarriage? You feel me? And
So
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 I said to her, I wish we would have tried a lot sooner so
was
she
that
wouldn't have had to carry that.
was that conversation brought up by you or by
It was
her?
her. It was
Okay.
her. She just came out one day and just really revealed it to me. Just some
Okay.
of the things that was hurting her. Because I was trying to figure out, because it was a small amount of depression. It could have been a great amount. I mean, I wasn't in her head, so I don't really
Yeah.
know.
But you could tell something was going on.
I could tell something was off, and I even
Right.
said to her, because so what was happening is something was off.
Right.
And I said to her, I'm like, what's going on? We sat down and we talked, and I was like, we good. I mean, I'm doing this, you doing that. What's bothering you? And then it was a child thing.
Mhm.
And so we had already had my son, but she still had that weight because we hadn't had that dialogue.
Right.
So maybe not even a couple of years after that, or maybe a year later, hell, we was like, we're gonna have another kid. There comes Harper, you
Yeah.
know. And so it's just, for me, I felt really good knowing that she was willing to open up to me about that. And it really enlightened me on how, you never know, even your spouse, you don't even know the burdens they carry. You don't know
Right.
what they're dealing with, you know.
Right.
It's just like when you meet somebody like, or someone that you work, you don't know what people are really going through, you know. And
Which I think
so
it's good
yeah,
for like you said, it's good for couples to get together and have these type of conversations.
oh, it is
Whether
100%.
the men go to another room or,
Yeah.
we talking on the phone or we even go have a cigar like we do. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
like hey, with me and you, man. Hey, that's
Yeah.
some of the best time, dude. I felt like I was back in college. I was the guys as a kid. You have no idea.
Yeah. But we
Just
had
being
real
in that
conversation
brotherhood.
though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We was talking about, economics and
Yeah.
generational wealth and everything. And
Oh, 100%.
oh yeah, it was good. But like you said, it was about coming together with like-minded people and people who are married who you can also relate to some different
Oh yeah.
things. So, we're not in high school or college no more. We're not talking about running to the club. We're talking about generational wealth of how we can make our kids money.
Lives better
Yeah,
and the grandkids.
exactly.
Your boy's like, man, I'm trying to get my grandkids. He bypassed this kid. He's like,
Right.
you know, but
Oh,
that's what
no,
it's about.
absolutely. So I definitely agree with that. You know what I'm saying? If you are married and you hanging around a bunch of single people, stop that.
It's not good. Like
You're
with
all,
me, I can't even do it.
yeah,
Like seriously, I can't. It doesn't make sense,
yeah.
you know?
You're on two
Because
different wavelengths.
yeah, I'm on some other, it's not until people get into that position where they understand like how it's like your time is limited.
Hmm.
It's your time. My time is limited. Like I'm giving them every little ounce of extra space and time I have. Hell, I don't feel like I'm giving them enough time.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean? But when I got a chance to do brotherhood, you got to take care of yourself too.
Right.
We all need that. Like my wife, she need to get some brunching in. I need to get some cigars in. We all got to get some of that
Right.
that time with our our friends.
Yeah, it's
But
like
at the same
a mental
time,
reset sometimes, you know?
oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
Good. So anything else you'd like to share?
I think that's
It's
I don't
like,
know,
hey,
man.
it's okay
Hey,
if that's
keep
it.
dating your wife. Keep dating your wife.
No,
We're coming up on our 15th year anniversary, and I want to make it special for my wife. So, I'm trying to figure it out right now. Actually,
yeah,
where I
yeah.
want to. I just want to make it, memorable.
Memorable. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah,
Because
15.
that's all we got is our memories, man. All
That's right.
everything. That's what matters is the experiences, and that's what I look back on.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just really focusing more on how I can continue to date my wife and continue to be, the best, husband I can be for her.
No, I like that the continue because I think that's a common theme also as I'm talking to other men is that saying continue to date your wife
And
and I share
support them and to support them in their dream,
absolutely and
you
I
know?
share also I think I fell off the bandwagon too as far as dating goes we all like you said we all get complacent at some point but
Sure,
then
we all did. I did too.
yeah so we got to get
Yeah.
back up I have to get back to that I'm not going to lie but I think that one of the things that I did before I got married is some people they pray for a wife or they
Mhm.
pray to meet their wife and whatnot so a long time ago I was living in Mississippi and working in Mississippi and there was a guy who told me hey man if you ever if you're ready to settle down you should write to your wife. And I thought that was like profound beyond me at the time. But then he said, no, that's what
Wow.
I did. And God blessed me. He said, I think you should do that.
Wow. That's
So,
crazy.
so for like a couple years, I can't remember exactly how long it was, but I got a journal and I started writing as I was writing to my wife. And
Wow.
then whenever I met LaShann, we got engaged and I presented her with that journal
Oh, that's dope,
and
dude.
and then she read it. But I mean, as I'm having these conversations with different men,
Yeah.
and even as you just brought that up to say, remember to date your wife, um, it's bringing back to me, and I'm hosting these episodes
Mhm.
of Men in Marriage, but it's also revelations to me to remember what I did
Right.
before I got married. So
Right. Right.
like, I'm checking myself as well. You know what I'm saying? So no, I definitely appreciate your input and
Yeah.
everything that you're saying.
You know what the thing is we just to add to that, man, is we got to remember. See, the thing is, it's so easy for life to have you forget that
Mhm.
woman you met and you love, and as she ages, and you're gonna age too. We all do. You married them for their soul, for that energy, for that inner person. That's what we're. That's what I love. I explain that to Kristen. I love you.
Mhm.
She'll say, "Oh, my weight's not what it was when you met me." Like, look at me. I ain't just, I'm getting
Right.
old too. But at the end of the day, what you got left is that person. It's that mind. Sometimes, and I explained to my wife last week, I'm like, I just need to hear you. I need you just to listen to me. When I'm stressed, there's something going on at work, it's a lot of
Mhm.
pressure. Me just picking up the phone and hearing her voice and talking to her, it soothes me.
Right.
It puts me back at peace.
Right.
And I can discuss anything with her, and she puts things in perspective. You feel me? There's
Right.
things that have happened to me in life and situations, and I'm unsure of how I should handle it. I call my wife, And no, whatever that conclusion that me and her come to, I'm okay with that decision that I make based on that conversation with my teammate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I feel like it, hey, I'm with her, you know, we just doing what we can, you know,
Right.
we together in this race, you know, and that's what it's about. We, you know, that's my teammate.
Nice.
So no matter what, you know, we're going to work through everything together.
I love it, man. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So let's to sum all of this up, I'm gonna package this up and try to tell me if I get anything wrong. So what I gathered was you're being a better for each other.
Right.
You're trying to be the best teammates together so you can, you know what I'm saying, just take over the world, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
What you accomplish together, you know what I'm saying, you're working to accomplish things together, like you said, say sorry, be vulnerable,
Yeah.
continue to date,
Yeah.
do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, that they know that you love them and vice versa. If anything gets rocky, you know what I'm saying, counseling. If counseling is
And I
not the
think the
thing.
biggest thing is remember who you met.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if you met that, the woman or man that they become now are totally, they should be improved. If your marriage has gotten to the point it's gotten to, you both helped each other, you know, through so much. And I think a lot of times we forget because there may be a situation where we don't agree on something,
Right.
and it's temporary. There's plenty of people I've met that I've sold cars to people that were married, got divorced, and got married back again.
Yeah, I've known people like that too.
It's an unnecessary detour. Like, why did you even do that? Just work it out, you know?
Right. It was probably could have been handled with a simple conversation.
Exactly. And just for me, I think what's helped me and Kristen is me learning to be more vulnerable. You know what I mean? Because that is the thing. I've always been like, maybe it's in my genes where my father was a hothead. You know what I mean? So I had to learn to humble myself in this world, you know, and to literally just to be more vulnerable with others, you know, and not always be on guard, be willing to open up to people and allow them to help you.
Right.
Because that's what life's about. We all rely on each other.
Right.
We're all in this together, whether we like it or not.
My issue is I dismiss people too quick. Like if we're not on the same page and I'm like, peace, deuces, like I'm that way is dismissive. I'm very dismissive. and that's
it's a protection thing.
It is. It's exactly what it is. And I brought that into
but you
marriage.
should protect your energy. That's another thing. We do have to protect our energy. We have to. So I can understand that. You got to protect your energy.
But like 100%. I said, but you know, when you bring all of that into the marriage, then that's when you have to learn how to, you know, peel back some of that stuff, because you're going into a marriage that you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, and you don't want to be like that towards that person. Like you said, you want to be vulnerable. You don't want to just always. And
that makes sense. What you said, that comment, what you made, it makes sense when you're out in this world.
Yes.
But your home and your kingdom, there's got to be vulnerability. There's got to be, like, you know, dialogue. If you're not vulnerable with your spouse, who the hell are you vulnerable with? I mean, think about it though.
All right.
You're up. It's like the whole world. It's like you're like this. You know what I mean? So for me, I kind of had to sit back and look at myself. I'm like, man, it's like I gotta let my wife know if something hurt me. You know?
Yeah.
I can't just come at her with wrath, with anger. I have to come at her with love and just compassion. It's like I'm giving her my love by telling her that hurt me. And because I love you, I want you to know that hurt me. And I know that if you love me, you would not want to hurt me. And so it just kind of keeps our relationship stronger. We've gotten stronger over the years because of that, just being vulnerable with each other.
I wonder how many men actually come with that approach, like telling their spouse, like, hey, you hurt me when you did X, Y, and Z.
Because they're not going to do it because they're thinking, you see something on TV where these dudes is all hard and all this. Them hard dudes, they the ones that's divorced are probably running around, you know, with 8, 15 women and still hurt. They all hurting their feelings, you know. and they treating women bad because they
They
feelings
hurt.
hurt and they don't know how
Right.
to express themselves.
Right.
It's not being able to, to communicate effectively. That's the issue that people have in marriage. It's communication problems. It ain't got nothing to do with them loving each other. It's just they don't know how to convey their feelings in a way to where it's understood by their spouse.
It's like a child who's learning their feelings and their emotions. They don't know how to express themselves, so they act out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So
Yeah.
you're acting out, you mad, I'm gonna shut the door. I'm gonna go
Right.
do this, I'm gonna go to the club, I'm gonna go hang out, I'm gonna do this with these girls. And it has nothing to do with what you should be doing.
Right.
It's literally just, it's like a detour to, facing your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
that's what helped me though, man. But this has been good.
This is a great conversation.
I love how you did the how you wrote. I love that. That's crazy. That's awesome.
So Brother Xavier, how can people get in contact with you?
Oh, you already know. I'm at Mercedes-Benz Music City. You can call me. My work line 615-525-2085. And of course, you can look me up on Instagram or any of my other sites. If you looking for a vehicle, I'm your guy. I'm your Mercedes guy.
He's the guy. He's the Mercedes king around here.
Hey, all I do is I help people celebrate their success. I try to explain that to people all the time. I'm just helping people celebrate. That's all we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love to see everybody succeed.
And I appreciate your time this evening.
I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate you.
15 years of wisdom. You dropped some gems, and I hope some people will be able to listen to this and will be able to take a couple of things away. I know I did. If anybody,
I definitely took quite a bit from you. There's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You definitely you're farther ahead than I was at 7 years. I'll put it like that in terms of where I was in our marriage at 7 years. But all we can do is just keep helping each other be better.
That's right. That's right.
That's what it's about.
This is Men in Marriage. Like and subscribe to our page or on any of our audio streaming platforms. Give us some feedback and let us know how we're doing. I'm here with Xavier Darden. It's Men in Marriage. Thank you.